Welcome back to Demolition Worker. Today, we step into the railway graveyard, a quiet resting place for massive retired steel giants. This enormous 120-ton diesel locomotive has officially reached the very end of its long and exhausting operational lifespan. For exactly 40 years, this powerful machine pulled heavy freight cars across the country, battling harsh weather and steep mountain grades. Now, it sits completely motionless on these forgotten tracks, waiting patiently for the final deconstruction process to begin right here today. Before we can tear into the metal shell, our crew must carefully address all the hazardous liquids trapped deep inside it. Environmental protection is always our top priority when breaking down these massive industrial machines in the salvage yard every single day. Workers begin by attaching thick industrial hoses to the bottom valves, preparing to safely siphon out the remaining diesel fuel reserves. Thousands of gallons of thick black oil and toxic engine coolant are slowly pumped into secure containment barrels for proper recycling. This crucial draining phase prevents any dangerous chemical spills from contaminating the soil when the heavy cutting equipment finally takes over. With all the fluids completely removed, the giant locomotive is now considered safe for the aggressive mechanical dismantling phase to start. A massive heavy-duty excavator slowly rolls onto the scene, shaking the ground beneath its wide steel tracks with every movement. This specific machine is armed with a specialized hydraulic shear attachment, designed specifically to slice through solid steel like warm butter. The operator carefully positions the excavator right next to the train, raising the massive steel jaws high into the morning sky. We start the destruction process at the front cabin, where generations of train engineers spent countless hours guiding this huge beast. The hydraulic shears clamp down hard on the driver cabin roof, instantly crushing the reinforced metal frame with terrifying raw power. Shattered safety glass rains down onto the gravel below as the heavy jaws ruthlessly rip away the side viewing windows completely. Inside the crushed cabin, the old control panels and steering mechanisms are violently torn apart by the relentless steel cutting blades. Thick electrical wires and communication cables snap wildly as the entire front section is forcefully separated from the main locomotive body. The sheer force required to bend these structural beams is absolutely incredible, showcasing the true strength of modern hydraulic demolition equipment. Now the operator moves towards the long, central body of the train, preparing to breach the incredibly thick outer iron shell. These exterior metal panels were built to withstand extreme impacts, but they stand absolutely no chance against our super-powered shears. The sharp steel teeth puncture the side wall, creating a massive jagged hole that exposes the dark internal corridors of the machine. Bright orange sparks fly into the air as the jaws drag across the thick iron, peeling it back like a tin can. Piece by piece, the heavy armor plating is stripped away and carelessly tossed onto a rapidly growing scrap pile nearby the tracks. With the outer shell completely removed, we finally get a clear view of the magnificent engineering hidden deep inside this mechanical beast. Right in the center sits the legendary V12 diesel engine, a colossal block of solid metal that generated immense pulling horsepower. Removing this giant engine requires extreme precision from the excavator operator, as it is heavily bolted to the primary steel chassis. The hydraulic shears carefully reach into the engine bay, strategically snipping away the thick mounting brackets holding the massive block down. Thick exhaust pipes and heavy air intake manifolds are brutally snapped off, clearing a wide path for the engine block extraction. Slowly, the excavator hooks onto the top of the V12 engine, lifting the incredibly heavy unit straight up into the air. The sheer weight of the engine makes the large excavator tilt slightly forward, demonstrating the massive density of this steel component. It is gently placed on the ground, where specialized workers will later dismantle its valuable internal parts for highly profitable recycling. Now, the operator begins the most dramatic phase, slicing the remaining empty hull longitudinally right down the middle of the frame. The powerful jaws bite into the roof line, tearing a long, straight gash through the thick structural ribs of the locomotive. Brutal longitudinal cut completely splits the main body in half, forcing the two heavy steel sides to collapse outward heavily. With the hull split wide open, a highly complex network of colorful electrical cables and copper wiring is finally fully exposed. Miles of valuable copper wire run through these inner walls, which our salvage crew will carefully extract and sell for profit. The excavator uses its sharp teeth to rake through the exposed compartments, pulling out tangled masses of wire and rubber hoses. Deep within the lower chassis, massive steel pistons and heavy drive shafts are brutally ripped from their original secure mounting points. These thick mechanical components once transferred immense rotational power directly to the wheels, allowing the train to move incredible freight loads. The relentless hydraulic shears snap a solid steel drive shaft in half, creating a loud metallic bang that echoes across the yard. Next, we focus on the massive cooling fans and heavy radiator units located near the rear section of the old locomotive. The steel jaws crush the delicate aluminum radiator fins, tearing the entire cooling assembly away from the main structural steel frame. Large chunks of twisted metal continue to fall heavily to the dirt, rapidly reducing the proud locomotive into unrecognizable scrap pieces. The operator skillfully sorts the debris as he cuts, pushing the valuable clean steel into one pile and mixed metals elsewhere. Now, only the heavy lower base frame and the massive wheels bogies remain sitting stubbornly on the rusted railway tracks below. These lower sections contain the thickest and heaviest steel found anywhere on the entire train, requiring maximum hydraulic crushing pressure today. The shears clamp onto the main chassis beam, straining hard as the hydraulic cylinders push with hundreds of tons of force. Slowly, the incredibly thick steel beam begins to bend and deform, finally snapping apart with a tremendous and violent metallic groan. We move down to the enormous steel wheels and heavy suspension springs that absorbed massive shocks during 40 years of travel. The excavator easily flips a multi-ton wheel assembly completely upside down, exposing the thick, greasy axles and heavy brake mechanisms. Cutting through these solid steel axles takes time, but the relentless hydraulic jaws slowly chew their way through the hardened metal. Massive suspension springs thicker than a human arm are plucked out and tossed onto the scrap heap like tiny coiled toys. Every single piece of this locomotive will be carefully melted down and repurposed to build brand new structures in the future. The graveyard is filled with the loud sounds of destruction, a harsh but necessary symphony of heavy industrial metal recycling processes. As the operator continues to chew through the lower frame, the massive pile of jagged scrap steel grows taller and wider. Thick clouds of rust and old paint dust drift through the air, catching the bright sunlight in a strangely beautiful way. The sheer efficiency of this modern demolition machine is truly staggering, reducing a giant locomotive to rubble in just one day. We now watch the excavator tackle the heavy fuel tank section, which was fully drained and cleaned earlier this very morning. The hollow steel tank crushes easily under the immense pressure, folding inward like a fragile empty soda can being stepped on. It is truly fascinating to witness such a powerful symbol of human engineering being so effortlessly dismantled piece by metallic piece. This particular diesel locomotive model was once considered the absolute pinnacle of modern railway transportation technology during its early glory days. Now, it simply serves as raw material, feeding the endless global demand for recycled steel in our rapidly expanding modern world. The operator swings the heavy boom arm around, using the side of the shears to neatly organize the chaotic scrap piles. Organizing the debris, is a crucial step, ensuring that the massive transport trucks can easily load the steel later this week. A large magnetic crane will soon arrive to effortlessly scoop up these heavy metal chunks and drop them into awaiting trailers. We pause to look at the massive V12 engine block sitting nearby, a silent testament to incredible 20th century mechanical design. That single engine block alone weighs several tons and contains highly valuable cast iron that foundries are always eager to purchase. The excavator returns to the tracks, ripping up the final remaining sections of the heavy steel undercarriage from the wooden ties. Sparks shower the ground once more as the sharp hydraulic jaws bite through a stubborn steel coupling joint with extreme force. With a loud crack, the final structural beam gives way, marking the official end of this mighty 100-ton machine. What was once a massive, proud locomotive just a few hours ago is now nothing more than scattered metal fragments. The skilled operator carefully sweeps the heavy steel tracks with the excavator bucket, clearing away small hazardous debris from the area. This thorough cleanup process ensures that the railway yard remains perfectly safe for the next retired train to be rolled in. Looking closely at the freshly cut steel, you can see the bright, shiny interior hidden beneath decades of dark exterior rust. It is a powerful reminder that even the oldest, most weathered machines still hold incredible hidden value waiting to be uncovered. The recycling industry plays a massive role in our modern economy, transforming obsolete giants like this into useful everyday building materials. Without these specialized demolition machines and highly trained operators, clearing out these massive train graveyards would be an absolutely impossible task. The sun begins to slowly set over the salvage yard, casting long, dramatic shadows across the newly formed mountains of scrap. Our hardworking crew finally powers down the massive hydraulic excavator, bringing an end to a highly productive day of destruction. We have successfully witnessed the complete deconstruction of a legendary railway icon, breaking it down to its absolute bare metal essence. This specific diesel locomotive may never pull another heavy freight train again, but its strong steel will definitely live on forever. Perhaps this very metal will be used to construct the next generation of high-speed electric trains in the near future. The beautiful cycle of industrial rebirth continues endlessly here at the scrapyard, where every ending is just a new beginning. Tomorrow morning, another massive retired machine will be rolled onto these exact same tracks, ready to face the powerful hydraulic shears. We take one last sweeping look at the neatly organized piles of valuable steel, copper, and aluminum resting on the ground. It takes an incredible amount of raw mechanical power to safely tear apart something designed to be completely indestructible like this. Thank you so much for joining us on this fascinating journey through the intense final moments of a massive diesel locomotive. If you enjoyed watching this heavy industrial demolition process, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel. This has been another exciting episode of Demolition Worker, and we will see you all next time for more epic destruction.